Thailand is a country known for its rich culture and traditions, and in this video I wanted to share some of those rich cultural traditions or holidays that happen here in Thailand that are pretty unique, pretty special, and you should definitely check them out if you can. Hi, my name is Ben. I've been living in Thailand for around 5 years, and today I wanted to share with you some of my favorite holidays here in Thailand. Some of the more spectacular ones, some of my favorite ones, and some of the kind of interesting ones that you may or may not know about. So let's start with one of the biggest, one of the most probably well known. You may have heard of this one. This one is absolutely crazy. It's a 3-day water fight where pretty much all of Thailand shuts down. Cities get closed off, city centres get closed off, and giant water fights erupt. And of course, you may well know, this is the holiday of Songkran. Songkran is the traditional New Year here in Thailand. The word Songkran comes from Sanskrit, and its literal meaning is astrological passage, meaning transformation or change. It coincides with the rising of Aries on the astrological chart and with the new year of many calendars of Southeast and South Asia, in keeping with the Buddhist and Hindu calendar. The celebration covers a period of 3 days. The 13th of April is regarded as the last day of the old year. The next day, the 14th of April, the transitional day between the old and New Year's, and 15th of April is New Year's Day itself. There is more than one myth or religious story as to the origin of Songkran across Southeast Asia, and I'm not the best person to teach you those stories. But traditionally in Thailand, Songkran is a time for cleaning, showing respect to elders by washing their feet, serving food to loved ones, making donations to monasteries and those in need, playing with water and applying powder to each other's bodies. Many Thai people still celebrate in a traditional manner at Songkran, but I think internationally Songkran is better known for the giant water fights that shut down major cities across the countries for 3 days straight. The period is a national holiday in Thailand, and many flock from far away to join the celebrations. I have not experienced anything like Songkran anywhere else in the world. I would definitely recommend you try and check it out one year. It's definitely worth a visit if you can manage to get a holiday in April. April is summertime in here in Thailand, so it's absolutely blistering hot. You'll probably be very grateful for the water fight and being splashed with water. But that's something that is also unavoidable at this time of year. So definitely bear that in mind when you're packing and heading out into the street. You are going to get water thrown at you. Flashing people with water is kind of a tradition that's sort of morphed over the years, I guess. It's gone from cleansing people and cleaning elders' feet to water guns and throwing water at random people on the street. You'll also get people coming up and rubbing a powder on your face. Again, this is like something that's transformed over the years. The powder used to be like a friendly gesture, as it was something that could protect your skin from the sun, but now it's like ceremonial, and people do it kind of for fun to random people on the street. This holiday is honestly amazing. I'm not just saying that, I genuinely loved it. I once had a Songkran party up in Nakhon Ratchasima in a city called Korat. The entire city centre was shut down. There were trucks blasting music. There were thousands and tens of thousands of people out on the street, everyone drinking, well, not everyone, but lots of people drinking, everyone throwing water, lots of people putting powder on each other's face. It was honestly like nothing I've ever seen before. And like I mentioned, it's 3 days straight. It's an absolute carnival more than a party. You definitely should check this out if you can. It's genuinely fascinating. And there's a million different ways to celebrate as well. If you do fancy that more traditional way and you want to observe how like that is done, you could definitely find those areas, find communities that practice in a more traditional way. Or you could head to one of the big party centres or any of the major cities, to be honest, and have an absolute blast for 3 days straight. Songkran is 100% one of my favourite events that I've ever visited, so yeah, check it out if you can. Next on my list, a little bit more chilled, well actually a lot more chilled, but still spectacular and still extremely unique, something I've never seen anywhere else. Very striking event, and that is Loy Krathong. Loi Kraton is a Thai festival celebrated annually throughout Thailand and in nearby countries. The name could be translated as to float, ritual, vessel, or lamp, and comes from the tradition of making kratongs or buoyants, decorated baskets, which are then floated on a river. Many Thais use the kratong to thank the goddess of water, Pra Me Songkran. I hope I pronounced that right. But essentially it's a goddess of the river. Loi Kraton takes place on the evening of the full moon of the 12th month in the traditional Thai lunar calendar. So the exact date of the festival changes every year. In the Western calendar, this usually falls in the month of November. This holiday is more important or it's more practiced in the northern regions of Thailand. So if you head up to a place like Chiang Mai, this, again, similar to Songkran, is a 3-day event. However, in the rest of the country, it's usually only observed for 1 day, one evening specifically. I would say the festival is a little more chilled than previous mentioned Songkran. It's a lot more chilled, to be honest, from my experience. I've never been up north to the full 3-day show, though, so perhaps that would change my opinion. But spectacular and unique in its own way. Typically, observers will spend some time in the day crafting a krathong or a float, but don't worry if you lack the skills to make your own, as stalls selling krathongs will be all over the city, town or village. Hopefully your krathong will be made from biodegradable materials. Traditionally they are made from banana tree trunks and leaves. They are decorated with leaves, flowers and incense candles. That probably is a point worth highlighting. If you do want to attend, if you do want to take part in Loi Krathong, which essentially is a sort of thing that happens in the evenings on a specific day, usually in November, where people will make these floats out of like leaves and flowers. They'll have candles on them and they'll put them on the river and they'll send them down the river, and you get like these little like candle lit lanterns decorated with flowers and leaves in impressive patterns, floating of a variety of sizes, floating down the rivers, and the whole village, the whole town, the whole city will go to like these certain designated parts of rivers or canals or reservoirs and then float these lanterns. So you get a very cool and unique sort of view. I'd never seen anything like Loy Krathong. Once again, it was a really interesting and thought-provoking experience for me. But like we just mentioned, if you do plan to take part in it, then definitely try and get biodegradable materials. You don't want to like a plastic or styrofoam base or anything and put that down the river. Obviously that's kind of littering. So there has been a big drive in Thailand to sort of push people away from those, get the biodegradable things, like you just need a lump of wood. Banana tree stumps are usually used, I think, traditionally. And all the rest of the material on there is also biodegradable. They are often decorated with flowers and leaves and that kind of thing. On Loi Krathong, in the evenings, everyone heads to a lake, river, canal to float their krathongs on the water. The sight of seeing hundreds of floating krathongs illuminated with candles and burning incense is a sight to behold. This is an incredibly beautiful and unique holiday here in Thailand. Next on my list, once again, is something I had never heard about before I moved to Thailand. It's something that seems pretty unique to this part of the world, at least. And it could be very popular actually for many people, especially in the Western world, as many people are, vegetarians and vegan these days. You might be interested to know that Thailand has a vegetarian festival that lasts a couple of weeks. The annual vegetarian festival is one of the most popular festivals in Thailand, also known as the Nine Emperor Gods Festival, or Jay Festival. Jay means vegetable in Thai. The celebration takes place on the 9th lunar month of the Chinese calendar. I think that usually puts it somewhere in September or October. The festival lasts for 9 days and is a great time for vegetarian visitors, as meat-free dishes are celebrated and many people in Thailand join in by cutting out meat from their diet. During the festival, those who celebrate will observe strict vegetarian diet. They also often organize street processions and, for the chosen few, practice self-mutilation. Procession and markets selling vegetarian food is very common in most of Thailand. However, self-mutilation is less so. But is still commonly practiced in Phuket. Phuket is definitely the place to be to experience the more extreme practices and largest processions. But be warned, the festivities in Phuket are not for the faint-hearted, and it is very common to see the self-mutilation practices, which people piercing their own flesh with large needles. So the vegetarian festival is really cool. Typically what happens in the majority of the country is many people will observe a vegetarian diet for around 9 days, I think. You'll start to see tons of stalls, tons of shops, and put up like a yellow sign with like a red symbol. It's like yellow and red, the sign. I forget which way around it is. But that's a symbol that they're like selling vegetarian food for the festival. And you'll see stalls everywhere. You'll see temples filled with markets selling vegetarian food. It's a great time of the year to come for vegetarians because there's an absolute abundance of vegetarian food, and Thai food is great. So, Thai vegetarian food is also great. Not just vegetarians, any foodies would probably enjoy experience all the different types of food that are on offer at this time of year. Now, if you want to see the serious stuff, if you want to see the real festival, then you definitely need to head to Phuket. This is something that is like a special to Phuket. They take it very seriously down there, and the self-mutilation practices all happen down there, or seem to. When I say self-mutilation, what I mean is like people will like get these really long needles and like pierce them through their mouths and other parts of their skin. To be honest, it's not for me. It kind of turns my stomach a little bit, but some of the images I've seen are really like striking. I doubt there's many other places in the world where you can see sites like that. So this is once again an incredibly unique, incredibly bizarre sort of aspect. Not the vegetarian food, but this sort of self-mutilation to me seems that way. Maybe it doesn't to you. It's another really unique festival that I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, if you're coming to Thailand, especially if you're vegetarian, then you may want to check this out. This next one is kind of a little bit fun, and I thought it'd be worth sharing it with you. Most countries celebrate Father's Day, most countries celebrate Mother's Day. However, my home country never celebrated Children's Day, but they do in Thailand. Most countries have Mother's Day and Father's Day. Here in Thailand, both are celebrated also. But on top of Mother's Day and Father's Day, Thailand also celebrates Children's Day. Children's Day in Thailand, also called Wan Dek, Wan meaning day, Dek meaning child, is celebrated every second Saturday of January with entertaining and educational activities. This usually involves families traveling and spending the day together. Now, this isn't really a festival. It's not really something I imagine many people traveling to Thailand to witness. As I mentioned, what this kind of means typically is that families go and spend time together, go and travel together, go to a museum, go on holiday somewhere, that kind of thing. So it's not really something that you could come and observe. However, I just wanted to share it with you because I thought it was kind of unique and interesting that they celebrate a Children's Day. Definitely amused me when I realized that there was a Children's Day here. I'm sure when I was younger and we had Mother's Day and Father's Day in the UK, I'm sure I've questioned and kind of jokingly said, when's Children's Day? Well, it's out here. Another quirky and interesting holiday I thought I would share. Once again, this isn't really a holiday or a festival, but it may be of interest to some of you. I'm sure some of you who watch this channel are living or working in Thailand, or maybe you're thinking of doing that. And of those people, I'm sure plenty of them are English teachers. So if you didn't know, if you are out here and you are working, you probably already know, but Thailand also has a Teachers' Day. It's not only children in Thailand who get their own day, but teachers too. National Teachers' Day is a Thai holiday celebrated each year on January 16. On this day, students go out of their way to show their teachers respect. So I have spent quite a few years, and I currently am working as an English teacher here in Thailand. I've celebrated my fair share of Teachers' Days, probably 3 or 4 now. And what this essentially means for me, as I'm not a Thai teacher, so I don't get the whole experience, but I am involved in some of the celebrations. What it basically means, especially if you're a foreign teacher, is assembly at your school, most likely, and some of your students will present you with flowers and bow down and in front of you to show kind of respect. This happens to all the teachers at the school. You may get a few extra gifts if your students like you, but that kind of thing. So yeah, it's another fun sort of holiday I thought I would share with you. Once again, not something that you can really travel to. It's not really a festival or an experience, but I imagine that a fair few of you may be English teachers. So if you didn't know, if you're already working, then you probably will know. But in case you didn't, yeah, there is a Teachers' Day. So those are some of the unique and spectacular and some of my favorite holidays and festivals out here in Thailand. Let me know in the comment section what are yours if you have some. Also, if you're interested in knowing why I moved out here to Thailand, I made a video about that a while ago. I'll put it up here or up here. I've forgotten which side I put the videos on, but yeah, check that video out. Should be on your screen either here or here right now. So yeah, click that.